Hi, this is Joe Kopsick. It's February 28th, 2018, and tomorrow, March 1st, Highland Park Mayor Democrat Nancy Rotering, a former U.S. House candidate, is going to be speaking in Northbrook Library about gun control in the wake of the Parkland Massacre. That's at 1201 Cedar Lane, Northbrook Public Library, Northbrook, Illinois, 7:30 to 9. I can't attend because I'm going to be working, but if I could, this is what I would ask Mayor Rotering. The N.R.A. cares about responsible gun owners' rights just about as much as the AFL-CIO cares about the interests of its members, which is just about none at all. The N.R.A. opposes civilian ownership of machine guns, sawed-off shoulder arms, anti-tank guns, mortars, bombs, and other devices. Responsible gun owners are the ones behind the pushback against gun control, not the N.R.A. To say the N.R.A. is behind it frankly gives them too much credit. The N.R.A. does not respect the Second Amendment. The N.R.A.'s stance actually helps the gun control advocates claim that we don't need guns because we'd never be able to successfully defend ourselves against government anyway. It's because of the N.R.A.'s positions against those types of weapons that we don't have access to all those means to defend ourselves. The Second Amendment does not exist to protect the rights of hunters to have guns. It exists to protect our right to defend ourselves against criminals and against the government when it becomes tyrannical. Government doesn't give us the right to defend ourselves. We're born with that right. The authors of the language of the Second Amendment, George Mason and James Madison, believe that recognizing the right to bear arms is essential to protecting the people from having their children forcibly drafted into the armed forces and essential to repelling against invasions by foreign governments and terrorist groups. Civil rights leaders like Malcolm X and Huey Newton cherish this right. Newton said guns prevent people from being put in concentration camps. Martin Luther King applied for a gun carrying permit and was denied before being shot to death with a gun by a white racist. Senator Don Young and small children with names similar to suspected terrorists have been placed on no-fly lists for no good reason, which deny them ability to exercise their right to bear arms. How can we be sure that calls for stronger background checks for mental illness will not be used against veterans who have PTSD or may have attempted suicide, or against people who are deemed political subversives or dissidents who are described as being mentally ill because they supposedly have oppositional defiant disorder, which really just means they refuse to follow orders and refuse to get in the boxcar. The President of the United States is open to creating a registry of Muslims in America. He openly admires Mussolini and keeps his book by his bedside. David Duke has repeatedly praised the President. Why on earth do you Democrats trust Donald Trump to disarm you, to disarm the working class and minorities? Have you read Karl Marx? Do you trust racist police officers to defend the people from lynch mobs when some of them won't even intervene to stop an active shooter? Have you read Warren v. D.C.? You know the police don't even have an obligation to protect any particular member of the general public outside of a private contract. Do you realize that in the 20th century, 55 million people died at the hands of governments that had legally disarmed them? Do you trust Donald Trump to tell you who's a terrorist and who's not? I wish I could attend this event tomorrow, but if there's anyone on the North Shore who would like to go to Northbrook Library tomorrow, March 1st, 7:30 to 9, and ask Mayor Rotering why she supports gun control, given, history, I would love to see that on tape, or at least hear about it. Thanks.